warming. But the second, and I believe, is the most important reason why I want all of you to see an inconvenient truth is because I'm in it. And we won the Oscar. And we're excited. But an inconvenient truth was interesting because Vice President Al Gore and I were in New York City at the premiere of An Inconvenient Truth. And when we walked out of the theater, Vice President Gore said, well, Jerome, what do you think? I said, well, Mr. Vice President, I have one concern. The unemployed steelworker in Pittsburgh will take his or her family in the theater to see The Inconvenient Truth. And the unemployed steelworker will walk out of the theater with his or her family, amazed by what they have seen, but they're still unemployed. And it raised the question. We recognize the problem. What do we do about it? We recognize that our economy is floundering and factories are closing and the planet is crumbling before our eyes. And we're now faced with the question of what do we do about it? Do we depend on government to fix it? Government has proven to us so often that sometimes they drop the ball. Ask our friends in New Orleans. But we can't solely depend on government to fix it all, though the stimulus is going to be a shot in the arm. We need you. We need me. We need all of us to recognize the value of our involvement. We need to all recognize that if we don't get involved, the price of not getting involved is far greater than the debate of whether we should be involved or not. Cities should step up to the plate. Elected officials should step up to the plate. You should step up to the plate, not just in your actions within your homes, in your schools, in your community. There has to be a level of accountability, even with elected officials. We got to hold elected officials accountable. If they do not think green and think about a sustainable future, then they simply should not be in office, because the bottom line is that we should have individuals in office like the mayor here who is going to think about Murray beyond today. He's going to think about Murray tomorrow and the next generation. If that were not the case, he wouldn't be sitting here on the front row with all you young people. He's concerned about tomorrow. So we've got to build a community that thinks about not just what we see in front of us, but those generations that are yet unborn. What kind of a planet will they inherit as a result of our practices? Now, Al Gore has said that he believes that we are past the tipping point. He does not believe that we can fix what has been broken, but we can slow down what might be broken. And we must do it, and we must do it now. And the idea of a diverse community can also be fixed, because nothing is more stimulating to any community, regardless to where they are on the economic ladder, than an opportunity to improve their quality of life. And if I've ever looked, and I have, for a mechanism of engagement to get minority communities into the movement, there is no better magnet than the idea of a job. And what's even better, a green job. When I go into communities on the other side of the track and say, join us and take an opportunity to be trained to do weatherization programs, and this is why these programs are important, they grab hold of the value of their involvement. I can be a part of a construction company that puts more insulation in a building. Not only do I get paid to do the job, but I help reduce the energy cost for whoever lives in that house. That is value. And we all must recognize the value of our involvement. And I'm going to leave you with a challenge. Because not long ago I sat on the stage with the president of ExxonMobil, the president of Chevron, and also the senior vice president of Walmart and an oil minister from Nigeria. They were all people in the energy business. And after they had spoken to an audience that was primarily very pro-industry, I went to the podium not sure as to what I might say. But I looked into the eye of each of them and asked them, does any of you have grandchildren? And they all nodded. And I looked into the eyes of the CEO of ExxonMobil and said, in 10 years, when your grandchild comes to you and says, Granddaddy, you were president of the world's largest corporation. You were president of the largest oil company in the world. You had an opportunity to change the world. Granddaddy, president of ExxonMobil, Kilimanjaro has melted. The permafrost on Alaska has melted. Major cities on the Gulf Coast have disappeared because of the impacts of climate change on the intensity of storms. You were the head of ExxonMobil, Granddaddy. What did you do about it? What did you do to change the breakdown of our planet? And I presented the same question to the president of Chevron. What will you say to your grandchildren? And I want to present the same question to each and every one of you, especially you young people. In 10 years or 20 years, you're going to look into the eye of your child, or your child is going to look in your eye and say, Mom, Dad, you studied climate change in school. You went on to Murray State University and became a wildlife biologist. The planet is crumbling around us. If you were so educated and so knowledgeable, why didn't you save it? What did you do to fix it? And if we're not sure what the answer will be to our children and our grandchildren, we have an opportunity today and from day on to develop an answer to that question. And we have to search our hearts individually and make sure that when that question is asked to us, that we can give a yes, that I took a step forward individually to try to change the world in a positive way for our generations to come. This Earth Day week is at a most critical time when the environment and our planet is in such trouble unlike ever before. And the issues that we have faced, whether it be the challenges of Hurricane Katrina, or the warm summers and cold winters and the intensive tornadoes that we have seen across the country, I believe and hope that is a call for action. I believe that it instills within our spirits that activism be reactivated within us, to where we are going to spend our energy and our time and our efforts to become smarter, to become wiser, to reconnect with nature, so that you can be the next leaders and the next workers that will meet the demands for energy in America and meet the demands for a sustainable future in our environment. The world is depending on you. We are depending on you to prepare yourselves in a way like never before with some real energy to help America be America once again. This is our challenge, and this is our opportunity. We will continue to work at Apollo Alliance to promote green jobs in America, to train the people that are necessary to do these green jobs. We believe at Apollo Alliance, as well as the administration and in Congress, that to truly be successful in investing in a green future in America, we must invest in small town America.